So you want to know what it's like to tour with a real estate Jedi, a humble one that is. So when I go through the properties and we meet up, basically I always have a disclaimer, right? My disclaimer is I'm not a licensed contractor, nor am I a licensed inspector. But in 21 years, I've seen a couple hundred inspection reports, and have flipped and renovated the device scope of work for 100 plus properties of all different size of projects. So that being said, that is my disclaimer. A lot of times, so this is kind of what to expect when and looking at, you can see kind of what I look for when I help my clients. It's more than just showing up with cheesy dad jokes, right? All right, so let me give you some examples. Okay, so when looking at this townhouse, look on the exterior. One thing I like to look at, I'm noticing is stucco. Stucco requires, requires a little extra more maintenance, and I'm looking in at the general cracks. It does have some paint, right? However, being that this is an HOA, the question would be, and the homework you would want to look into is whether or not, how often that was required. Now, the next thing I like to look at here, I'm looking at this stoops, a lot of concrete, a lot of work. Notice there's some mud here, right? So that tells me, okay, and I know there's some gaps right here. So that tells me a combination of, is it caused by the weight of this concrete, or is it caused by the lack of gutters, or at one time the gutters not being cleaned and it just pours out here. So I'm like, okay, well let's see, what does it look like downstairs? Because inside, obviously there's the staging, which kind of takes your eyes away from things. I'm noticing that the doors are a nice feature, but appears to be single pane original. So from a budgeting standpoint, we want to look at what that might look from energy efficiency. Nice park that is adjacent, and this actually runs all the way down to Lorton. Nice trail system here. But these are the things. Got fresh paint, so it's nice. New appliances. But I look for the boring stuff. Look in here, and I look like, okay, what's been done to, plumbing wise, and then I'm looking around. I'm like, okay, some standard settling. Start paying attention to the floors. Very boring, but then you hear the squeak. So squeak's like, okay, there's a the sheathing below this is potentially needs screwed down or nailed down. And generally I'll go to the basement right away, but we'll go upstairs and I'll show you why. Oh, notice a crack. I'm like, okay, common settlement, house was built in 1971. Standard, you'll have that. Then, I'm like, okay. Went through here. Well, you can't see it on television, but definitely dips here a little bit. All right, so then I'm like looking up, I'm like, okay. We got some cracking here, some settlement cracking here, which does happen. However, you'll notice it goes up. And then a little further. The windows are good. They're not brand new, but they're double pane. They're not original. Bathrooms, clean. I didn't really update it, but then I'm like, okay, what's another thing we'll look at here? Okay, so we got a gap. And the door doesn't latch all the way. So, again, I like to reference, I'm not a structural engineer nor a home inspector. Any information gleaned from this, consider it nothing but comedic relief. That's my disclaimer. And then we got this. So, why is this area sinking? Common settlement or not? More of a problem or not? Is it standard that just needs a little more reinforcement in the basement? Maybe. These are all things to kind of set an expectation. And going downstairs, let's test our hypotheses here. Oh, that seems to shut fine. Clearly I put too much weight into it. I ate my Wheaties this morning. Basement, okay. at the front. This is the front. Okay, so we're like, all right, well, you know, these are old windows, but actually smells pretty dry in here. You know, looking at some things, you know, possibly at one time, you know, the basement. And then I like to look at the age of the HVAC, which is 2017. My TED Talk on that's 8 to 10 years. Could go a lot longer, but I would start budgeting. Hot water tank. Can't really find a year, but so that tells me, I mean, I'd say it's 15 plus. I would plan to take a cold shower tomorrow. Have a bath here. $200 amp service. Seems to be nice and organized. I like seeing organized electric boxes. So you got a 200 amp service there. And of course, you know, noticing the ceilings, what happens in these basements. A lot of times when you have ductwork runs, then in the summer it gets hot, humidity, and these things sweat. And looking back here, little dip in the nice area, but a little low spot there to be mindful of. But at the end of the day, you know, setting expectations, and then ultimately we look at what the price is. So basically that's the, you know, the tour. That's kind of an overview of what I look for when, you know, helping someone buy a house. While they're out checking out all the fun stuff, the floor plan, the bedroom size, the closet size, where they're gonna put the brooms, you know, that sort of thing. I'm looking out for trying to set expectations in terms of maintenance and stuff. And I like to say, you know, it is houses, it is real estate. It's like anything. If, you know, as the houses get older, there are things that, you know, you got to take care of. It's just a matter of what those things are. And also, of course, is it priced accordingly to reflect those things? So that's what it's like. Have a great day.